Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, guys? What's that noise? Hope you're all doing well. Hope you had a great weekend. How's everybody doing? Right, let's have a look. What's up, Ibrahim? How's it going, buddy? All right, let's get started with the analysis. All right, what's going on with SPY? So the market, as I mentioned, this day I said it's not looking good. That day was extremely weak with huge volume, and it's broken the short-term structure, which was holding up for the upside. So basically, short-term upside or uptrend is no more. In fact, we're going into a sharp short-term downtrend. So that started it all, and this was the confirmation that they, which was Thursday, I believe, gaps down and barely, it actually doesn't even attempt to gap fill. And then just continues to show weakness. And I said, if this day closes red, anywhere close to this red candle, let me just zoom in, anywhere close to this size of red candle, then we're not looking good on SPY, right? So yes, that's what happened. Unfortunately, people who are position trading, investing, it's not looking good for now. We were due a bigger pullback on the market, but this pullback I thought was enough for this sort of momentum. But unfortunately, it broke that structure, and now we are definitely in that short-term downtrend. So daily, that's what it looks like, and the third day as well, as you can see, 3 back-to-back red days and a very strong weak red days. When I say strong weak days, it's like it's pure weakness written all over it. So today also is gapping down. So I mean, if we want to follow the momentum, yes, we're going to be looking for shorts, right? Let's go, Ghost. What's up, buddy? Welcome. Let's make some money. Let's go. I've got some watch list. It's not the greatest one. I don't feel really like it's the best watch list, but for Monday, it's kind of okay. Usually Mondays can be a bit dull when it comes to watch lists. But SPY. So overall, as you can clearly see that, yes, there is a weakness written all over the market, right? So we should be looking into, if you're trading anything related to SPY, which is big names like for example, your Apples, right? I mean, we should be looking for a shorting opportunities on these big names if we analyze the market being weak. So anything that has big name should be following SPY, or they should somehow have what is it called? Confluence? I forgot. I blanked out. Anyways, they should be matching each other's movements. Usually SPY leads the way, but sometimes it could be a big tech name or something like Tesla. If it's doing completely opposite to SPY, it could actually hold SPY going down. So if we see big names, like 2 or 3 big names all of a sudden showing strength, then we will see SPY bouncing as well. That's probably the only time SPY will follow the individual stocks, but most of the time SPY will lead those big names. So as you can see, I'm trying to find the relative weakness on these big names. So AMD looks very relatively weak. It's broken a really strong structure here around hundreds. And after that, it's just basically there's not much stopping it from falling to 90 even, you know. So that's what I see. I see a bit of a void unless we go to 93s, 94s. There's quite a bit of room, to be honest. There's not much support to hold it from going down. So that's what you wanna really find. If the SPY is weak and you're trading big names, then you wanna find among them a relatively weak stock when it comes to daily chart as well as intraday chart. So daily chart definitely looks much weaker than SPY. So our AMD is relatively weak for sure. How does the intraday look? So today's gapping down, but it's bouncing. It's not much of a really sort of clear picture there. But we'll find out later when the market opens. So this is a candidate for short. The other ones, Tesla also showed very heavy selling off on Friday. It was actually surprisingly holding up. It was surprisingly relatively strong for the last 2 days of the SPY's fall, but last day it couldn't hold it, and basically it just ended up very, very weak. Now today, intraday wise, it looks weaker than AMD. Why? Because it's gapping down even more than AMD. AMD was very close to this gap. This is further away, but it's attempting, it's under VWAP as well. So it's definitely relatively weaker when it comes to intraday price action. Daily price action, I'll still think that AMD is much weaker, but we'll see. So Tesla definitely could be in our list of big names to short if we get the chance. Now, how are we going to look into this? What I'm looking is basically on SPY. Because it's Monday, usually what happens is the gap is not much, as you can see. I think the gap will fill very quickly, and we might see a bounce coming in after these 3 days. In fact, whole bunch of few weeks of really down days. We might see a bounce days like these. You see these? These bounce days might come in, so be very careful. We don't want to have a very strong bias, of course. If we do, then we're going to get stuck in one of those trades that we think is going to go down. It never does. So also, there could be, when it comes to bigger picture, there's always kind of 2 or 3 scenarios with market. One is basically, even if it's weak, it could have a bounce day, which today is likely, more likely than yesterday or Friday or Thursday. Also, the second scenario is to follow the momentum, which is basically weakness written all over it. Weakness, weakness, weakness. But for that, we'll have to. Today, I'm going to be very careful judging SPY is weak or not by just 5 minutes at the open or 10 minutes. I'm going to wait about half an hour to really say that SPY either is on a bounce or actually carrying on with the momentum to the downside. So that's what we're going to do. We're not going to jump to conclusions just yet. But if you want to have one answer, SPY definitely is weak. So scenario number 1, we talked about. Scenario number 2, we talked about. Scenario number 3 could be around after these kind of moves, either to the upside or to the downside. We see these very, very narrow range days. Now, when I say narrow range, it's compare relative to the previous days. So we have a range of 450 to 43840, let's say 43840. So that's what $6, right? $6 range each day. Almost each day it's been producing. So expect a narrow range day. Now, what does that mean? If it's going to be a narrow range day today, guys, if you're going to take trades, take them out on a partials should be quicker. That's all I'm going to say. Partials and your exits should be quicker. Don't expect too much from your trades. Just almost kind of like scalping approach. If that's going to be the case, if the range is going to be narrow. How would we know? Well, that first half an hour will tell you whether the range wants to really break out or not. It's going to have, the smaller the range of that first half an hour candle, the more dull the trading will be, so boring. So basically, hopefully it's not going to be. Mondays usually can be, but we'll see. That's why waiting for that first half an hour would be ideal scenario. Now, let's have a look at the watch list. I'm going to post this on the Discord, guys. So this is the watch list if you want to have a look at here. Not a big one, guys. It's just a small one. How do I zoom in? Maybe control. Yeah. So SPY is always there, obviously. We've got our AMD. We got AVGR and DTOC. Now these two are basically, we can't short them. It's very expensive to short if you can find the locates for them. So just leave them alone. I kept them because just in case if they start to actually carry on with their momentum, I'll go through these in a minute. These were previous runners for the last week or so. These two have been running greatly. So these two, no shorts on them. PDD definitely looking for shorts. SCS maybe longs or shorts. Pins definitely looking for shorts. If obviously SPY permits it, XPEV looking for shorts, NCLS looking for shorts. So all of these can be shorted, right? And AMD also we're looking for short. So all of these can be shorted except for these two. These two, no shorts because it's very expensive. Nope. So and then we have a gapper. I put it in the gapper because it was recently in play. It was gapping up yesterday, Friday, and things like that. It's not actually a gapper, but I kept it just to distinguish it from these watch lists. So that's the watch list, guys. Let's look at them one by one. AMD, we did look at the daily. Looks very weak. It's broken the main structure, which was 100, and it's really just holding on by this trend line, by this really thin trend line that is really not strong. That's not strong at all. So there's nothing holding it except for these 40, 90, 94s. So PDD also has been very strong. I'm not going to lie. It's been very, very nicely trending up recently. And it is on my watch list of swings. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to short it on day trades if it gives me a chance. So what it's doing is basically it's gone up for continuation to the upside, as in i.e. uptrending, and then we had a pullback, and then this lower high kind of confirms that it either wants to create some sort of a pattern before it continues another one. Maybe in this time it's going to be a bigger pattern, but within the higher range to the low range, you can short these things if it starts to reach the higher range of these patterns. So unfortunately it's gapping down. I would have liked it to stay around 96, 95, 50s. It's too much of a gap down. I would really like it to be bouncing and then see what happens around this area, and then maybe look into shorting. Okay, so we are trading at around 94s, so around here, right? Around here. So that is the plan with it. If it starts to bounce towards 95s and it starts to reject from it, 94.50 is also a really good level right there. If it starts to reject from it, we could look into shorting that as well, right there. So PDD. SCS, again, is, you know what, SCS, I'm going to leave it alone, guys. I just wanted to keep an eye on it. The volume just never came. If it starts to break that 1114, which is yesterday's highs, there could be a squeeze on it, because a lot of people have been trying to short this thing. 1117 is yesterday's highs. So keep an eye on that, maybe put an alert there, and we'll see what happens around if it does reach there. That's the only reason why I would be interested in it. Short is kind of not looking good on it. Volume is really low. Now, when it starts to pick up and breaks that high, it will bring more volume. Pins also, I've been trading this, or looking at trading it for the last 2 days. It looks good. The daily looks good. One day was a really decent mover, I believe this day, but there's still more chance. I think there's that pattern still there on the higher range of that pattern, which rejected from 28s, 2820s, and we're still continuing to the downside. I think there's still momentum to the downside, maybe at least for 1 or 2 days. Is it going to be today? I don't know. We can try, but one of the candidates for shorts, PINS. Now, what's the plan with it? Well, very simple, basically. It's gapping down. If it starts to attempt to gap fill and it starts to not go from red to green, then, you know, it fails off from there. Then, yeah, that's your first clue that it wants to stay weak and continue with the momentum to the downside. Again, you can match it with SPY's move. If SPY starts to show weakness at that time, even better. So XPEV, also similar sort of scenario. Look at the pattern. The pattern is basically, this is cleaner because we're just starting from the top range of the lower high and continuing. This one has more room, I believe. We've got 15s. This one has a lot of room. So if we can catch anything on XPEV, I think it'll be better. So XPEV probably will be my one of the top 3 to watch today, XPEV, for shorting. Now, what would make me change my mind into longs? To be honest, at this area where they are, at the point where they are in the daily chart, I'll have to see for 2 or 3 days of a really a price structure or a price pattern that's gonna really sort of void the shorting idea or thesis. Right now, I can't. Only shorts on these. NCLH, this one looks very weak, but the problem with this one is it looks really nice for the second day continuation. Beautiful. But the problem is it's done so much of a weak move or downtrending move so in a quick manner that it hasn't had a really decent pullback. So I'm kind of worried about that, but still it is also one of the candidates for shorts. Very weak. Gapping down, I believe, yes. And again, if it doesn't actually, if it doesn't really sort of go red to green, that is a clear sign of weakness, because usually on these kind of days, it should pop and should bounce a little bit harder because of these big moves. So that's NCLH, and that's pretty much it, guys. And I've got SWIN as well. I believe it's the recent IPO. I might be wrong on this one. It's had a really decent push from 2s all the way up to 5s, and then rejecting from it yesterday, which is Friday, and ended up closing around 3.7s. So a weak day with a high volume. Okay, that's the clue, very high volume. So we might have a continuation again on this second day continuation. Shorting opportunity definitely is there. So there's a lot of good looking charts, I would say, for shorts, if you can find the raw case. These are not expensive, to be honest. If you're from Trade Zero, they're like SWIN was like about 30 cents for 100 shares. XPEV 10 cents 100 shares, or like basically 1 cent and 3 cents. So really nothing. Compared to AVGR and DTalk, AVGR, I believe, was about 30 cents per share. So, I mean, if you trade 100 shares, let's say you trade 100 shares, that's $30, right? So if you trade 1,000, that's $300. So you're actually paying $300 just to short 1,000 share of DTOC or AVGR. Not gonna work. So unless you find somewhere, much cheaper, which I doubt it. SWIN, yes, it looks decent enough for shorting opportunities, but don't forget that we are bouncing and it's tiring itself out from the bounce, yes. And the momentum could shift to the downside because remember, this thing went from 450 open all the way to 13s and somehow got rejected really, really strong. And then just continued that rejection all the way to 2s. So basically, big money, smart money, doesn't think or don't think that this thing belongs at these prices, right? So as it pops towards those gaps, those prices, it's probably going to push back, which it did Friday. So are we going to continue to push it down? Are we in the equilibrium area or in the no balance area? I think it's not there yet, but there still could be a opportunity for a few days of shorting until we get to that 2.5s, which will be that equilibrium, or even 3s basically. Now, I would like it to be popping a little bit, bouncing a little bit. If it fails from here, I would understand why it would, because this is a big level. Yesterday's low. Have a look at this bounce that came in from that. And just closed higher than that. And that held for the rest of the day. Excuse me. So if it starts to fail from here, 330s to 340s, we might see some more rejection coming in on this one. Now, if it pops towards that gap fill, still I would say is opportunity. The further it pops, the better, the higher the shorting entries will be. But we'll have to be very, very careful with the price action on this one, because we could actually see another move to the upside. Definitely with these ones. So yeah, SWIN is also on the list. That's pretty much it. And I wish you the best of luck for the day. And be careful, it's Monday. Monday could be very strange. Monday is more like Friday. Because of weekend or over the weekend, out of hours orders need to be filled in. Weekend, people coming back from weekend, or a lot of people don't trade on Mondays, things like that. After expiry day, Monday starts. So there's a lot of reasons why Monday could be a bit non predictable day. So be very careful. Usually sometimes I go with 50%, sometimes 35%, 40%. I don't usually, if I don't feel like this Monday is okay, then I would probably not go with 100% positions. But today there's some decent shorting opportunities on these names: PDD, PINS, XPEV, and CLH. If there is a decent A+ shorting opportunity, yes, I'll take that 100% for sure. Let us go. We're talking about shorting Tesla. Tesla today looks relatively weak, to be honest, Ghost. Tesla looks relatively weak compared to AMD. As you can see, the gap is much higher. Where compare that to AMD, AMD basically was gapping not so much. However, now showing a bit of relative weakness, definitely because obviously SPY is doing that. So yeah, as you can see, SPY is already clearly giving you a sign that I want to be staying weak. I want to just drop, carry on dropping. We'll see. But so far, SPY definitely looks weak. So shorting might not be a bad thing today, guys. Again, you have to time the shorts right now. Right now, if you ask me, is it shortable? Is there any setup on shorts right now? No, not a single one, because you will be chasing everything right now if you do short. Now, if we do continue to show weakness like this, we will have to wait for a nice little pullback, as in retracement to the upside or a bounce. Then we can sort of align that with really decent supports or resistance, or a point of interest, I would like to call it, or zones that we can benefit from if it pops to that and rejects from it. That's pretty much the basic idea behind waiting for that timing. So I'll myself be looking at those and see if there is some sort of a decent structure, decent setup that I can find. Yes, sir. Any other ones? Let's have a look at the gap downs. I'm sure there's a lot of gap downs, but I don't usually put gap downs because they are funny. They are not as simple as like gap ups. This thing is done. 335 is trading at here, so it's on back to balance. When I say back to balance or equilibrium, when I talk about that, it's basically it's back to its boring price action, right? When I say boring price action, when there's an equilibrium of buyers and sellers. So buyer doesn't want to pay higher prices, and seller doesn't want to pay lower prices. They're just basically sort of, that's why you will get the prices to be very, very boring. When there's an imbalance of interest or supply and demand, then that's when you will be seeing these things, right? So yes, we definitely want to be in these kind of sort of scenarios. Not in this. That's the whole point, guys. A lot of people ask me, what is your criteria for finding your watch list? My first criteria is I'm not trading this. I'm not trading this. And for that, I have a set of criteria that needs to be met for scanners. Amazon, let's have a look. Amazon is probably the similar idea because it is in that it is relatively strong compared to others. Obviously, as you can see, even the daily is pretty much similar to Tesla. Daily looks a bit weaker than Tesla, to be honest, but this thing has, yeah, I mean, it's relatively weak. Daily is relatively weak, and the issue here is relatively weakness on intraday isn't there. Why? Because we have a gap up on Amazon. We have a gap up. No matter what, it's still up for the day while everything else is down. So be careful if you're going to be shorting this. This will not be my top priority, but things can change. Like, let's say first half an hour, this one could show more weakness as we're trading live. So then you can make a decision. Yes, I want to trade that. But right now, if I were to long anything up, it'll probably be Amazon on the break of the 130. Not the others. Yeah. If I were to choose between AMD, Tesla, and Amazon. Apple I was looking at earlier as well. Apple is also a, decent daily. It did a really, really, really nice run from 124s all the way to 98s. It pulled back. Now the good thing about Apple is it's actually done a really decent pullback. And it did bounce. This was a continuation to the upside, but obviously SPY pulled it down with it and it's still holding on. So there was definitely relative strength on Apple, But just keep an eye on this level here, 173s, 174s. If that gets taken out, there's quite a bit of room, about $4 room before it can actually, $3, $3.50 room before it can actually bounce. So I would say that level is going to be quite strong, 173, 174s, which is not that far off, to be honest. The right there actually is already showing on the marking right there. This level here on Apple, dude, you want to keep an eye on that. Yeah, I mean, it's a fundamentally very strong stock. And as long as that fundamental stays the same or doesn't change drastically, people will have the conviction and confidence to actually put in the money and not take it out. So, yeah. We've got 174, definitely a very, very heavy liquidity area. Now, if that's the case, I think we will see that 174 push. We'll definitely see that. Now, it depends if that liquidity is strong enough for it to bounce. It could hold, but we'll see. So level on Apple is that 174 to watch. What's up, Zell? What's up, buddy? How you doing? I'm not seeing any gappers, Zell. Have you been trading any gappers? Vino is the only one, but I don't really trust that because that's a reverse split. So yeah, reverse split. Vino we could keep an eye on for the next 2-3 days, because usually what happens is after 2, 3, 4 days of reverse split, we will either start to see this push or usually it will be really fade off. It will start to fade off a little bit, which is already doing, by the way, from 3s all the way to 2.5. So yeah, not looking good. Let's have a look. Wow, PDD is very weak. Yeah, I really wanted to be staying around here, but hey. Yeah, I had to sit down. Okay, maybe that's a good thing. Obviously, you watch that sub $1 stocks as well, isn't it? I'm pretty sure that is one of them as well. Yeah, well, that's moving. That's moving. What is the news behind this? Is this one of those biotech? With his phase 1, phase 2s? The shares are trending higher of the company announced the preclinical glioblastoma results with its lead candidate TX. So it's a preclinical. Actually, yeah, I've noticed that as well. Definitely. I mean, if something moves with decent catalyst, which this one has, obviously, you know, there is a lot of interest. The thing is, if something moves like this, right, and then you get something like this pre-market, then that's a no-brainer, right? There's enough volume on it, enough interest on it. In fact, these things are traded by small traders, not like the big massive money. So that's actually, you have an edge on these, as long as you don't get into a dull trading sessions. As long as you have that, I'm pretty sure you have, obviously, but I'm talking to others who might go into these sub $1, sub $2 stocks. making sure that that day is in play. How do you know it's in play? Well, the volume is considerably higher, and the range is considerably higher to the previous boring days. So think about those two criteria that it needs to meet. And obviously the third criteria, why is it gapping up? Why is it moving? Why is there more volume? Why is there more interest? Well, there's got to be a reason behind it, the catalyst. So if you can align those three sort of major tick boxes, then you've got yourself a watch list. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, this is yeah, it's that's the problem with these. It's like the cost is so much. I usually you know me, I short a lot of things, but to short these things, it just drains you, and it's sometimes not worth the risk. You're paying a lot of money to borrow stocks to short, and yeah, well, it doesn't pay off sometimes. That was one of the other reasons, and the other reasons were if you have a smaller account, it's definitely like it makes sense for you to be trading something like this, because you can easily take like thousands of trades and you can just partial out easily. Whereby if you have to take like a lot of shares, then it's kind of tough, man. It's not easy. Yeah, still, I mean, as you can see, the volume keeps rising. They can also be played a lot. If we look at, let's say, our NAS, what is the float on it? Do you know? Shares. Volume. Okay, so shares, outstanding shares is very close to obviously the float. 2 million, 2.5, 2 million, something like that, right? Very low float, yeah. 1.35, okay. Yeah, I mean, let's have a look. RNAS. RNAS. 1.58, 1.78, 1.8, so close to 2 million, let's say. It doesn't matter really, it's really extremely low float, so yeah. This can easily be played, even by small, not very small, but like a bigger day trader. It can be easily manipulated. 1.3, so it's already. It'll be interesting to watch the. Also, the good thing about these ones is you can easily read level 2s. Well, when I say easily, it's easier relative to the big names. Big names, you can't read level 2. Like, you just cannot. You just rely on the bigger time frame levels instead of level 2 or tape. On these ones, tape becomes much more important. So if you love to look at the tape, level 2 and the time and sales equals tape, then yes, these are the ones that you want to follow, which Zell does. And the reason why I don't do it is because I stream as well. This requires 100% patience. I used to do that before the stream. But if I'm looking at this and not speaking for like 5 to 10 minutes, then the stream wouldn't work. That's why I went with the different style of trading for the stream. Let's have a look at XPEV. RNAS. Yeah, there's a lot of interest on this thing. So literally, there's no. I mean, I don't see much of very. Yeah, this could be another go. This could be another go. 123 breaks. 123 is about to break. It's interesting. Right now it looks like it wants to, but it's taking the 122s out. Yeah, I think it wants to go 123 breaks, but there's a lot of sellers at 122. See that whole held. See how easy it's easier to read. 123 had a lot of sellers, and that held. So that tells you that, you know, there's 123 level. If it breaks, then it could actually pop a little bit. So you take it like that, slowly. You will start to eventually learn that, you know, the hidden sellers, hidden buyers, and things like that. But you start first with these. Is the seller, or are the sellers getting taken out? For example, if we have 123 and there's, let's say, 100,000 shares there, share seller there, how much of it is getting taken out? And as it attacks that level, how much of it is left? Let's say if we see 50,000 left, then that means, you know, it's actually taken out that 50,000. Maybe it's going to attempt to take out that that 123 level. So yeah, these kind of things, obviously. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. That's also could be. That's why we see a really extremely dangerous rug pulls coming in around the open, just at the open, or you know, because it makes it like valid for them to be able to do that, because there's so much enough liquidity on those that right at the open, or the first 10-15 minutes of the open. Definitely they could do that. But right now that 123, as you can see, held. And you can even, like, let's say a lot of people will actually look at this. If that 123 held quite a few times, now they will short this with 3 cents, with 3 cents stop, right? And then they will just look for like this flush down, and then wait for another bids to hold, and then they will take it out, 2-3 cents. But for that, obviously you have to have that either commission free and things like that. What is the RNAS? Also, just be careful with the first day runner, shorting first day runners, if they have a good catalyst. In fact, you want to be always long if they have a good catalyst. Now, this one, not the greatest catalyst. These ones, yeah, I mean, it's not 100%. I'm not too happy with the catalyst to take longs now. Also, I'm not really sort of not unsatisfied either to take shorts as well. So I'm like in the middle. So RNAS is about 77 cents, 8 cents. So 8 cents is going to be around $8 for 100, and 1,000 shares will be $80. There it goes. You see how it broke that 123, right? So that's how you read that level too. Yeah, 123. Just keep an eye because it held. Once it broke it, boom, there you go. That's perfect scenario. Really, like I mean, it's a great thing to watch. Level 2 plays a big, massive role on these. Exactly. Let's react. On these ones, specifically on these ones, you wanna definitely react. So yeah, liquidity just keeps coming onto this one. Massive volume, and we don't have that long to open. Yes, sir. So yeah, that looks kind of interesting. 131. Okay. Let's have a look at this XPV that I wanted to short. Goes into 1655s, and Arnaz is bound. Yeah, there it goes. Arnaz going for it. Probably a halt if it can. If it doesn't halt, we might see a big rejection on Arnaz. But XPV just taking those orders out. Nice. A bounce on this one would be nice. Let's watch Arnaz because it could be interesting. Yeah, there it goes. There it goes. Where is the halt level on Arnaz? Is 100? Where's huh? Hold level is about 151 right now. So if it does break this, it's definitely gonna hold. So first halt is always a good one on this. Yeah, this is your type of stocks. Beautiful, by the way. It never actually done anything against your trade long. Especially here, Zell. That was just no-brainer. There's your halt coming in. There's your halt. There is your halt. Almost. Yeah, it's hit the halt. There we go. Boom. You're done. So if you had taken, let's say, 153 break, maybe 123, sorry, 123. This one you can take thousands of trades. Thousands of shares, sorry. Thousands, right? Now, as it pops towards 130, you take some out, and 140, you take some out. That's huge for a stop of, let's say, 3 cents, 2 cents, right? So it's definitely worth it, you know. This halted, the first time it holds is a good sign. You just don't want to hold it until for the second or third halt. Definitely third halt is just a no-brainer. 0.9, dude. Yeah, 0.9 definitely. Yeah, I mean, these over here, I wasn't watching it, but it built up more volume. It would have been more interesting. Definitely over 1. I would have been paying attention to it. And yeah, 123 level was beautiful. It'll be interesting. I might actually go back to, I'll probably do a on demand for you guys. Go back to this level, see if we can learn something from there. And it's crucial to pay attention to a level that actually holds. And once, it's not about, we'll get back to the whole thing when we do the on demand thing. But yeah, it was interesting. All right, so AMD is popped towards the VWAP, and it's actually coming down. It's still early. It looks nice short opportunity with a big stop though. It looks nice, but PDD. Okay, PDD is at that level that I wanted it. Probably a better choice, PDD. XP is popping. PDD. SPY is yeah, SPY is coming down. I was looking at SPY, sorry. I was talking about AMD. AMD is actually rejection from 95s. Is not a bad area actually. I'm just worried about that initial reversal that's going to happen on SPY. So I'm going to be a bit careful. So it breaks that 95. PDD. And PDD. Okay, AMD is not looking too bad. Under 95 right about now. It's just too early for me though. Okay, let's have a look. It's just at that point where I'm about to pull the trigger. Maybe 95.10. Let's see what it does around 95.11s, if it does get back there. And if it starts to reject from there, or okay, that's not bad. Okay, you see SPY? You can't ignore that, guys. You see, AMD is not bouncing properly, but it is now bouncing properly because it followed SPY. SPY actually bounced bigger. So AMD broke that 95 level, as you can see. So this is why I meant to pay attention to SPY, because we would have taken that 95 short if we were not paying attention to SPY. SPY was already bouncing to that VWAP, which is basically relative to 2429 level on AMD's 95 levels. So yeah, just gotta put 2 and 2 together, really. Like, you can't just like keep it very, very simple. You have to be putting everything in line. PDD has a lot of so what is NCLH doing? I was looking at that as well. NCLH popping. And the thing he opened RNAS. It'll be interesting to watch RNAS, guys. It's more fun. Since I'm not trading the first 10-15 minutes anyway, so AMD looks now AMD looks really not too bad actually. I'm going to be taking AMD, guys, at the rejection on, because SPY is rejecting from that initial VWAP rejection. RNAS is it seems like it's gapped up, isn't it, on the halt? Yeah. AMD 8548. So it's breaking. RNAS is like holding. This probably might go for another squeeze. Look at the volume that came in, but also be very careful for that rug pull though. Oh, bull trap, bull trap, bull trap. There you go. There's your rug pull. Oh, there's your rug pull there. That's your hold down. Lovely, 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 lovely. It hasn't halted down yet, so that's interesting. That's really interesting. If it bounces from here, it'll be interesting actually. AMD looks interesting for short. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity on it. AMD. However, it's actually broken that VWAP. The rest I don't see anything. NCLH is also good. this is your clear bull trap right there. Just broke that 174, like took out the liquidity, whatever was there, the orders, stop runs, and then just completely, it didn't completely, but it's, look at the candles compared to before. So it's just hunting liquidity right now. XPV, let's have a look. XPV. Okay, XPEV. Okay, so as you can tell, right now we're actually trading in this range. So if SPY doesn't actually take out that 42,950 or low of 42870s, then we are still considering SPY to be in that chop. But it seems like it wants to do that, but I would like that volume to come. Yeah, there you go, it broke it. So now we are actually looking at the second scenario where SPY could actually have a bounce day, at least towards that gap fill. So that's what we're seeing. So shorting anything at the moment is it's better to leave it alone. Wow, that Arna's held. Arna's held. This does not look. Up. Arnas is kind of. Oh, what's happening to my charts? Okay, something's happening to my chart on Arnas. Let's have a look at these. Oh, very strange. Yeah, okay. So look at Arnas. There it goes. That's another move. Well, I'm surprised that it actually didn't hold down and it held here 150s. So this is interesting. If it starts to create some sort of a pattern here, guys, I will probably take this one to the long side. I believe it was very expensive short because I don't mind shorting it later as well. Yeah, it was like $80, wasn't it, for a 1,000? Which was it's not too bad. It's not too bad actually. There goes your AMDs. So everything is popping on our watch list. If you have a look, everything is green. What about AVGR? I'm not ready to short this. PDD is popped, as you can see. It broke those levels, so that level is just not there anymore. It filled the gap. It's about to fill the gap. This level is more interesting to me right now, because if SPY starts to actually retrace a little bit or pull back, then we could see some sort of a rejection here. So PDD is looking not too bad there. Just when I say this actually washes off. Just kind of looking forward to that. Wow, 175. Again, a halt up on Arnas. Halt up on RNAS, second halt. Now this is the halt. 175 was the halt level. It hit that. XPV just yeah, didn't give us a chance. XPV was one that I was watching for short. There was a chance here, but it was just too quick. But it's just another type of we still have time because it hasn't really moved enough, so there's definitely room. If we do get a bounce towards that VWAP, I might take that shorting opportunity on that. Yeah, that's just gone too far. XPVs daily look really nice as well. We still could see a nice bob. We'll see. If we do get some decent setup on this one, I'll take it. I'm watching XPAV for possible shorts only if there is a setup. M-Goal, I didn't really look at that. Which one are you talking about? M-Goal, these ones? I didn't get it. Mogul. Oh. Okay, that's Mogul. M-Goal. Anyways. I couldn't find Mogul. Maybe they changed. XP's EV on our watch list is the only one that's probably going to provide some shorting opportunity. The rest, they're all up. PDD also could be. PDD also, but the thing with PDD is daily is strong on this. I prefer the XPEV. I prefer XPEV for sure. Now it's gone down below yesterday's low, so that's a good thing, but we just need that opportunity above bounce. Let's give, let's hope we get that. Wow, SWIN just went and dumped. This is what I was looking as SWIN short. Look at that. So it actually attempts to gap fill and it fails off of it, and then yeah, there was opportunity there. I wasn't watching this. I actually had bought some shares on it. I don't know why I wasn't watching it. Yeah, it was only 5 cents. Yeah, I bought some. Yeah, I completely missed that, guy. Sorry, that's on me. I was mentioning that this has opportunity for a decent short. Yeah, it's because it was on the gappers. Okay, XPEV, guys. Let's be serious. XPEV. All right. Okay, let's see. XPEV. I'm gonna start XPEV around 1645s. 1645s, guys. I'm gonna start, and what I'm gonna do is around that 1650 mark. If it does reject from there, I'll start adding it. So I'm not in on full position on XPEV, only 1645 starter. 1645. And obviously, if it takes that VWAP out, and even after VWAP, I have this level, that 1660 level, that could hold. So I'm just gonna wait on it. So I'm really small on that one. I can hold up. My guys, my Thinkorswim is acting up a little bit. So hold on a second. Okay, so XPEV is actually taking the VWAP. I want to see what it does after this now, actually. All right, so now it's at 1660. All right, it's breaking that, so it's bringing a lot of momentum. I'm gonna be exiting this soon if it does take that 1668 or 70s, because there was no confirmation on it. That's why it was a starter. XPEV, it was a starter because sometimes you don't get confirmation. Mm. 1670 break, then I'll be out. So there. 1670 there. Okay, so SPY is also running and breaking the high of day, so that might not help any shorts. 50 maybe. All right, so now it should be working fine, hopefully. That's our XPEV. I started way here, around here, and I'm gonna be out as it breaks that 1668. Well, I'll add to it if it starts to reject from here as well, so I'll build up something. There it goes. Let's see. And we need this candle to go red at least. Watching XPEV. EV. Let's see. Still holding on it. 1680. MDGL or something? MDGL. Okay, I'm out of XPEV, guys. 160 or 1670 break. So the problem with that one was I started early because there was no confirmation yet. Once it started to confirm, then I normally add. So that's like a very small small loser, basically a starter loser. So it's not bad. From here to here, 1645 to 1660, so 20 cents, something like that. Or 25 cents. We'll see if it does actually reject from these areas. We could still attempt it later, but right now I'll leave it alone. And watching SPY as well. Do something. Maybe GR is popping. MSOS. MSOS. I don't know about MSOS. MLGO, yes, yeah, MLGO. Okay, gotcha. MSOS. Why is this? Why was this running though? It's not that expensive, 3 cents. So it can be shorted, yes. MSOS. Or a SPY is really strong, so today we are seeing SPY rebound basically from those early losses. So today it could end up that big rebound day. Okay, so 16, 62, 16. And we're talking about, where is it? SPY. There you go, SPY. Another chance at XPEV. Seems like 1672 held up nicely. And 1663s on XPEV has. Okay, so that's yeah, tomorrow might be better on MSOS. I'm not gonna lie, today I just couldn't find anything unless we I mean, there is something you could. The Uzi setup is there definitely. Uzi setup definitely for short opportunities there. But this one definitely has. I would have liked it to be stretched out of the VWAP for that kind of setup. But there's definitely opportunity on this one. But maybe later. Right now, it's the. Yeah. There goes XPEV, so XPEV just went to VWAP. There it goes. So that's what I was looking for. Okay. XPV, believe it or not, AVGR is somehow creeping up nicely. AVGR, keep an eye on that. Okay, so the second attempt on XPEV slightly paying off, but I still think it has more room on this XPEV, and AMD is also kind of shifting to the downside, I would say. Yeah, AMD is also kind of drifting. So surprisingly on XPEV is like, sometimes you could just, you say to yourself, I could have held on until this level. I knew the 1670 level was the level that I wanted to base my stop. But this created, I was initially paying attention to this level and keeping my stop, my hard stop there at the high of that. But when it started to reject from here, then I pushed my stop down to 1670, 1668. And it just took me out from this bloody short from 1645s. And also I added around here 1665s. Just waiting for that pullback around there somewhere. And it took me out on the next candle, right? Right there. Right there. So, I mean, sometimes, you just want to stick to the original plan and you just don't want to move the stop, because the fact that it had moved parabolically so much, that's exactly what gave me the confidence to hold this, maybe add to it. This was not a good add because it was just on the rejection barely. The confirmation is somewhere here. It's here. It's not there. So this here was an ad. But then I started. Where did I start? 1667. 1667. Right there. So I started 1667, and I'll tell you why this is important, because that's probably one of the most important things about trading. There it goes, another partial coming in. Let's go. Okay, another partial came in right around here. right around here. So yes, it will take few times, especially when you start out like these things. This is why it's quite important to understand where your plan is, game plan is. I knew this was too early. I knew there was no confirmation. I knew there could be a bigger bounce on this one. Overall, generally, daily, I was just trusting the daily and making sure that it's, I follow the momentum to the downside. And the stock is very weak and it's coming off from a nice little reversal pattern. And I was looking at a bigger picture for this trade. So I started early. So that gave me the confidence to just start at least. And then I could always end up adding to it. So the plan was basically just if it pops and if it starts trading around over VWAP, then I will just wait for it like 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then on the break of that swing high, I will exit. That was the stop loss. I want to give this room because this starter was nothing, like literally nothing, because I wanted to add. This was like, because this was nothing, I actually added here prematurely as well. So this stop actually is like, you might think this is a big stop. It's not. It's like a 35% position. Now, on the second trade that I took, this was almost, I wouldn't say full position. It was almost, I would say 70% of the position because it is at the level, at the high of that level that I wanted it. I wanted this thing around here. That's why I added here. But now this is, because it had actually done so much of a move towards that level of mine, my stop was really tight. Now, think about this stop, right? This stop could have been here, 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 right? Starter. But now this one was very, very clearly basing around this level stop, 1672. So the stop on this one, 1676, 67, and 72 is like really 5 cent stop. Now imagine a position you could take with a 5 cent stop. So that's what happened. Short, partial, and I'll let the rest run. AMD was a really nice one. I just missed because, yeah. So that's what I wanted to share today's trade. Sometimes you don't get the whole thing. Obviously, you don't. You just try again. But I'll just share it with you guys if you want. So this is exactly what I meant earlier. I'm trying to explain you here on XPEV. If I can just get this thing to be a little zoomed in. So yeah, the starter around here, right? It was under 1645. And then you see this, my short second entry is not bad actually, not bad for the stop, right? It's actually not bad. I stick by that. When I looked at it, it actually looks good. So second entry to for the starter, just to build up, because that was not even the confirmation. But these would have been the confirmation. If I hadn't gotten stopped out, I would have probably added here slowly. But because it was right at the highs of the level, right there, another short came in, proper position this time with a stop here. So with this entry, the stop could have been something like this easily, maybe even more, because that was just a starter, right? Look at the difference between the stops. Now this one, the stop is like that, only 5 cents, right? And then the partial, and then we have a few more partials coming into this. So it's already beaten the big stop out. The big stop out, it looks like a big stop out, but it already beaten it without a third partial now. Right now looks like an add point, to be honest. I'm thinking about whether adding or not, guys. Right now. It is at the lows though, that's the issue. And also we have bounce coming in on SPY as well. But it's a good point though. It's a good point to add. Anyways, my point here is that as long as when you start out and if you say to yourself, it's a starter, then if you are flexible with the stop, then that's fine. But what you don't want to do is, how do I go back to this thing? Clear? Anyways. Oh. Okay. What you don't want to do is you want to basically say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to start here with full position and I'm going to exit here, right? If that's your plan, then that's got to be your exit. You can't just have that, it's going to pull back, because it's not part of your program or your plan. For me, it's different because part of my plan was that this is definitely a starter and I'm going to wait until it gives me confirmation to add more things because I wasn't happy with the position that I was in on it, right? And then obviously it pulled back and I was happy to be flexible with the stop so that I could have that backline re-entry on it. So unfortunately it did come in this format, which was kind of tricky, and that's why my plan kind of didn't work out, so I exited here. So there's no shame in exiting something that didn't work out, but then there's also no shame in re-entering if things are aligning again with the level 2 and the levels respect, right? So this would have been one loser, right? 1 hour. And then this definitely is going to be way more than 1 hour. So if I hadn't re-entered, I would have ended up with -1 or -1.2 or something like that because of this ad. But I would not have been able to catch this. All part of the plan. If it wasn't part of the plan, then that's a wrong thing to do. It's basically a bad trade. So that's the trade with it, and I'll see what it does, guys. This one, if it does pop towards that VWAP and over the VWAP and starts trading over it, then rest of the runner, which is only 25%, is gonna be knocked out here, still giving me some sort of a green, some profit on the last batch, but already looking like really nice. My exit. Average is about 1641 to 1667. What is that? 20 cents or so? No, more than 20 cents, right? Yeah, 25 cents. 25 cents average for a 7 cents stop. Not bad. All right, guys. That is pretty much it for me for the day. I think what's going to happen is that we are sticking with that SPY being strong, and that scenario is true to the fact that right now it's created a good range and it's not over yet, and it's still bouncing, it's showing strength, so that this bounce day that was overdue from these days had definitely come in the form of Monday trading today. As long as this holds. Now, if it doesn't hold again, the SPY is gonna, I think it might go into a little bit of a panic selling. Not too much, but I think if it does end up, this one ends up being red, this might be not too good for SPY. So there you go. I said it. I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the day. I had one ticker traded, still green on it, way up on it compared to what I lost. So all looking well. that's pretty much it. I was going to talk about the AMD, but it just doesn't look, it looks choppy, really looks choppy, as it's following SPY, so it's not gonna be good. I was looking at shorting opportunity, but as I said, on the big names, shorting can be very difficult right now because we are on the bounce day on SPY. Let's have a look at before I go, the rest of the SWIN is the one I missed. It was short was here, but hey, Arna's just, oof. Arna's just, oh wow. Zell, you are trading this, right? Wow, okay, this is a proper squeeze. This is what's called a squeeze. Another halt might be coming very soon, guys, on Arnaz. There's another halt, right? Yeah, it's hitting that halt level, 271. It's halted again. It's halted again. So this is a halt fest. Anybody who's in from these levels, by the way, beautiful hold here. Remember that pullback, and it almost halted, but it didn't. And it just continued. Beautiful. Sometimes makes me wonder as well, like should be getting back to these small caps once in a while. I used to trade these things religiously before, but hey, can't complain. Green day, easy day, actually very easy day. And I like the fact that it was according to like a really nice well laid out plan for the XPEV with the watch list. So it was from the watch list. I was waiting, and I could have taken it anywhere, anytime. Yes, I was early here, but it's just I avoided this whole chop, and I waited for this confirmation of a move, and then yeah, just too early first trade, and then yeah, the second one. Now could be another add point right now. I know I said it here, but because I traded from here, I could add from here as well. So right now I feel like there is an add point there for sure. So I'm gonna add, guys, on this. So there you go. Why not? I've added 1643, and we'll see. I'm just gonna leave it running because I am way up on it, and the good thing is I can let it run and then slowly start bringing my stop. Just trail it with the VWAP, and if this runs and takes out the lows, that's going to be a huge trade. It's not even like 2-3 hours. We're talking much bigger hours. So yeah, looking forward to that if it does actually break that. If it doesn't, then we might be seeing a reversal coming in as well. It depends on the volume. Volume is not supporting it yet, so that's why I'm keeping it. Anyways, have a good one, guys. Take it easy. Stay safe. Cheers.